Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you are watching this video. Okay, today we are going to talk about a nitrogen cycle. First of all, what is nitrogen cycle? Nitrogen cycle can be defined as the continuation and transformation of nitrogen through the atmosphere, soil, water, and living organisms, which is essential for what? Life. Okay. This is the diagram of the nitrogen cycle. At the first part of the diagram, we will see a place labeled or let's say called precipitation. First of all, what is precipitation? Precipitation can be defined as the release of water from clouds in form of rain or snow, which means that nitrogen can be released to the atmosphere in the form of what? Rain or snow. That is just it. And the second part of the diagram is where you will see a part named nitrogen-fixing bacteria living in the legume root nodules. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria. What are the nitrogen-fixing bacteria? First of all, we have Azobacter and Cyanobacter. Azobacter and Cyanobacter. These are the nitrogen-fixing bacteria. What are their functions? Their function is converting nitrogen into ammonia. That is, converting nitrogen plus hydrogen, which gives you what? Ammonia. But before we go further, what are the leguminous plants? Root nodules of leguminous plants. What are the leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are plants such as beans and peas, etc. Let us move on. At the third part of the diagram is where you will see a part called ammonification. We have explained that before, which is what? Converting nitrogen into ammonia. Then the next part is what we call nitrification by nitrifying bacteria. What are the function of nitrifying bacteria? The function of nitrifying bacteria, first of all, we have two types of nitrifying bacteria, which is nitrosomonas and what? Nitrobacter. The function of the nitrosomonas, first of all, nitrosomonas converts ammonia into nitrite, which is nitrite, Nitri, then which is nitrite. Nitrosomonas converts ammonia into nitrite, while Nitrobacter converts that nitrite into nitrate, because nitrite cannot be assimilated directly by plants. Then it is now converted into nitrate. So when this nitrogen is converted into nitrate, that is when it can be assimilated by plants. And the process of assimilation by plants, the part of the nitrates which are left, which is the leftovers, goes back to the atmosphere, completing the cycle. That is why it is a cycle. You get? So the process whereby nitrate goes back to the atmosphere is what we call denitrification. Okay, let us move on to the next part of the diagram. So how does animals get this nitrogen that we have been talking about since this video started? The animal gets their own part of the nitrogen when the animal consumes the plant. And how does the nitrogen that the animal consumed that the animal got from the plant when they consume the plant, how does the nitrogen goes back to the cycle? The nitrogen goes back to the cycle when the animal defecates through excretion, or when the animal dies. But when the animal dies, there is a bacteria known as saprotrophic bacteria, which acts as a decomposer. They convert the nitrogen from the decayed animal or decayed excreted substance from the animal. They convert it to what? Ammonia, through the process of what? Ammonification. That is how the nitrogen goes back to the what? To the cycle. Then it continues just like that. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, it's in the network safe. Subscribe and the like.